Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I'm making chicken smothered in black beans. Believe you me, this is spicy. Spent the last 30 minutes getting hot peppers together for this. Now, yesterday evening, I got a pound of black beans. I picked over them and I rinsed them. Then I put cold water to cover them by 3 or 4 inches, and I soaked them overnight. They say soak them overnight in the refrigerator, but I couldn't do that because my refrigerator didn't have the room. All right, now they say today, which I'm going to be doing, is drain but do not rinse the beans and set them to a side. That's exactly what I'm getting ready to do. Just set those to the side. Okay, where's my scissors? We have to put a lot of seasonings together, but I have got to grind up some Arbo chili peppers, the ancho chili peppers, and Anaheim chili peppers, and they're all dried. All right, that means I'm not going to be using the whole pepper. So we're going to cut part of this off. Now they want approximately, which one is this? The ancho. I'm going to put it in my spice blender. Ancho, they want approximately a teaspoon. So I'm going to put this much into it. I don't even know if this is going to blend up, but we're going to try. It should. And cut it in small pieces so it'll be easier. So that's a teaspoon of that. They said ground, but I can't find them ground, so I got them dried, and I'll have to do the rest myself. All right, the next pepper they want is the Arbo, which are these little suckers that are hot. They're used for pickling, I think, and for, oh God, what is it? When you're grilling. Oh, I can't think of what, well, I know them. How much of this do they want? They want 1 teaspoon. Okay, well, we'll try. That should do it. Here's my rubber grinder right here. I'm cutting them in. They don't even say de-seed them. They don't say anything. So this is a very, very spicy dish. You ought to see all the seasonings going into it. Is that it? Okay. I want to apologize. I thought you could see what was happening yesterday on my live. Some people were getting quite nasty, and I got pretty mad. I wasn't accustomed to that kind of talk towards me. If my husband was alive, he would reach through the camera and strangle them. See, I was taught that people don't talk like that to each other. But they really pushed yesterday. And when I do lives, I don't know how to, I didn't even know what trolls were. And somebody was kind enough to explain it to me what they were. And I said, oh, so ignore the idiots. You know, I said, okay, I can do that. Try to be fair with people, and they will push so far that you want to strangle them. Now they want Anaheim, better known as California chili. Can I open this one? Let me see. And how much do they want? They want a teaspoon of this. And I'm hoping I'm putting enough for a teaspoon. I have no idea. Let's see. Maybe about that much. Might be a little more, a little less. I really don't know. I'm just sort of winging this right now because I don't have mine ground up. I'm not going to run them through my mill. Oh. I think everything I make after I put it in the mill, it would all be spicy hot bread. But you know what I haven't made in a long time? Some rye bread. I don't know why I haven't. Now this should make a teaspoon. I think it would. If this doesn't, I'm going to have some problems. Oh, it's going. I did pretty good. It's not powder, but it's ground, so I can use it like that. Okay. Now we'll get everything else together. We'll go right down the line. I got a nice long list of seasonings. We want 1 tablespoon of salt. You know, I'm going to use regular salt on this. Two teaspoons of paprika. The next one is 1 1/4 teaspoon of dried mustard. Let's see. People my age, we knew we had to have respect for our elders. If we didn't, they'd slap our heads off. After you got home, then the whipping came out. And they parents were not kind. They didn't sit there and say you can't do this or that. The belt came out. Onion powder, 1 1/4 teaspoons. It's the only thing I hate about this is it dries up like this now. What can I use to break it up? Let me think. This is what I hate about onion and garlic powder. You constantly throw them out. I hate wasting. I'll break it up more. All right, we need 1½ teaspoons of dried basil. One and a half teaspoons of ground cumin. Okay. You need 1½ teaspoons of garlic powder. Don't throw it on the floor, Sandra, you'd have a mess. 1 teaspoon of oregano. I told you there were a lot of seasonings in this. 1 teaspoon, I said? Yeah, 1 teaspoon. And 1 teaspoon, wait a minute, I forgot one. Oh yeah, cayenne. Okay, we need 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne. You're probably saying, this is going to be spicy. Who are you telling? But it sounds really good. Okay, now for the black pepper, we need 1 teaspoon. So I have to go and get my mortar and pestle. Anything else on this? That is pretty much it for the seasonings. I couldn't see making the video just to pick through black beans, so I read it to you this morning. Should I have saved the water the beans were in? Sure I would. I should have, but I didn't this time. Because I could have thrown that out in the yard, but I didn't. You watch the old films, you used to see women throw liquid out into the yard. That's what they were throwing out, the water they cooked stuff in and clean house. Because remember, they only used soap and water, so it wasn't like the chemicals we use today. Everything was used at that time. Okay, now that we did all our seasonings, all right, now they want us to take a 3 to 4 pound chicken, and they want us to cut it into 8 pieces. They didn't want the butcher to do it. They want you to do it. Put that there. I have plenty of seasonings there. Let me get the stuff and I'll be right back. I'm cutting the chicken up right now. You can buy a chicken cut up if you want. I'm not real good at it. Like I said, I'm not a butcher. But I can save pennies this way and do it. And if you have cats or dogs, or you have alley cats, you can give them the gizzards if you don't want the gizzards. I'll clean this after. I hear women say, I butchered my chicken. I said, that's all right. You're not the only one. All right, let's see how I want to do this one. See how you find the joint? Then you pop it, and it's right there. Come on, Crystal. Let go. If you want to know where to cut it here, hope you can see it. You see how the skin is? Let me show you. Separate the leg from the thigh. You see these muscles going in this way, and these are going here. Right in here is the joint. Take your finger and go in it. Bend the leg until you can feel that joint. Then you go right into that joint. And you have a thigh and you have a leg. The wings, you just hold the bird up and cut the skin and then just pop it back and you'll see exactly where it breaks. Bend the backbone back here. And believe you me, that's how you get the backbone. Now how do you fry it? Well, first off, you break it. So you bend this to where it lays flat. Like this, so when you fry it, it lays flat. That's how you do it. Now we have the upper back and we have the breast. Now Europeans do it different than us. I have a book that shows me how the Europeans do it. This is where my mallet comes in. I can't use this. That's how I split the backbone. And I'm going to cut this away. I could use scissors. It's still cold too. Do I want to use the scissors? Yeah. I'm going to use my scissors. Where did I put them? That's all right. I can give that to the cats. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm feeding like 5 or 6 cats out there. Okay, take you off. Okay, the breastplate's here, so I'm going to have to cut this in. Make my life easy. Okay, I'm going to rinse and clean them, and I will be back. They do not want the backbone of the chicken, so I'm going to stick it into this bag of bones, beef bones I have, and I'll stick them in the freezer and freeze them up. And then what I will do is I will cook them down and make more bone broth to make sure we always have those minerals and stuff for our bones to keep arthritis away. Now, what would I do if my family was sick? I would, if they had bones on their dish, I would throw those out because I wouldn't want to spread illness. But if my family's not sick and we're all healthy, I'll take the bones from the plate. Though a lot of you would go, oh my God, how could you? If not go, ooh. But if they're healthy, I don't have to worry about them being sick. Like I said, the frontiers and people were utilized everything they could to make sure they could feed their families. It upsets a lot of people. Say, ooh, how could they eat it? Hey, they were healthy. They might have died young from war or injuries and stuff, but they were strong. Not the ones that lived in the city, but the ones that were in the country that had to survive. And she had to know her wits about her to make sure her family ate well. Oh, I cut the bones off that one. That's okay. I don't care. I get them in one place, if not another. Okay. There's a lot of little things we have to do with this dish, so I'll be going through one through another. Where am I going to put this in next? What I have to do? Give me a minute. How much do you want me to use for the chicken? A tablespoon and a teaspoon. Okay. Mix your seasonings up. So we'll mix these seasonings up thoroughly. Don't worry, we got a lot of chopping to do too. You're going to take a tablespoon and a teaspoon of this seasoning. And we're going to sprinkle it on the chicken and put the chicken to the, excuse me, the chicken to the side. I want you to really rub this seasoning in. Don't worry, we're going to turn them over and do the other side too. But they say rub the seasonings in. Turn your chicken over, and we're going to do the other side as well. Right, take this and put this to the side. So you have the beans to the side, the chicken to the side, and the rest of your seasonings to the side, and now it's going to be chopping time. Oh, I need another towel. So let me get everything we have to chop and I'll be back. Okay, you need 2 onions. Got chopping to do. Now they said you could use all green bell peppers or multicolored. I'm using multicolored. I think it would be colorful. I put the onion and bell pepper at the same time into this. Okay. Okay. That's all I need to know. Get a bowl because we have a lot of vegetables. That's too big. So chop 2 onions. And then I'll do 1 bell pepper, show you how much you need, and then you can sit there and do the rest, and I'll give you a break from me. Something you should know about life. People that are negative and think they're cute, they take that negative energy and they throw it on you. And when you deal with people who are sad, they draw that energy off of you. And that's why you're so tired. And that's why you get angry and defeated, is people throw a lot of negative energy at you, and you've got to learn to throw that energy off. Okay. We got 1 onion done. I patted my chicken dry because I didn't want it to splatter when we go to cook it. So think about the people you hang around with. If people are going to be negative, don't bother with them. Walk away. Your health is more important. They throw enough at you all the time, your health can go down in a hurry. People defend themselves all the time with that energy. Women put makeup on. Men, some men work it out. They run to the gym. Others people drink. Other people just withdraw from the world and want a quiet room. Don't want anybody around them. This is because you're trying to balance out your energies again that were so destructive that you could not function. And then you go back to work and it starts in all over again. I was talking to my son. I said, you know, if we really follow the 10 Commandments, you know, they sit up there and say at one point, I can't remember which one, is it 1, 2, 3, 4? I think it's number 4 or 5. It says, do not covet against thy neighbor. Well, when you think about it, in other words, what's going on in that house has nothing to do with you. And you should mind your own business. Because there's karma there. And when you get involved into that karma, you don't know what was done in the past to trigger the karma that you're having today. Or that family's having. This is where I say we're all in the same boats dealing with our karma. But when you do that, you involve yourself into their karma and you make more karma for yourself. The healthiest thing you could do is pray. Because they're dealing with issues that they have created in the past. They have to deal with them. Just like in nutrition, you don't eat well and you do all sorts of things that you want. Then when you get old, the body pays you back. Well, if you've hurt people and you've done certain things, or put them up for adoption, children up for adoption, and you don't care, or you abort, all of this adds up to you. So you say, I aborted before I had life. Well, because I believe in reincarnation, I see you coming back. Right? And the little people that you aborted are now full-grown adults in another life. And they sit there and put you up for adoption. They don't even want to see you when you're born. So you know what it's like not to be loved. That's why I say, do you really hate somebody so much that you really want them dead, or you just disagree with their philosophy of life? You don't have to like my life, but it works for me. My faith works very much for me. It explains a lot. I'm content with it. And I know my Father. My Heavenly Father. I call him Father. So, for those women, and then if you change your sex, and you decide you want to be something other than the sex you're born with, you're interfering with your karma, and you're interfering with the blessings you're supposed to have, and everything else. I think let's see what a happy pepper does. They want 2/3 a cup, so I'm going to see how much of each of these peppers. So we'll see. Each, right? All right, I don't want to make sure I'm wrong. Yeah, 2/3 from each of 3 colors, or you could have, how many? One, let's see, 2/3, 1. Or you could have 2 cups of green bell pepper, whichever one you want, but I think the colors would be nice. So think about what you do. If you're doing illegal drugs and doing things like that, you're going to find yourself in a very sick body in another life. And you're going to hate your body. You're going to be deformed because you've abused the body. So all the things that you do, you can call it horse crap if you wish, but that's okay. Is it any different than you poisoning your body slowly with the chemicals they put into your food? No difference. So, if you kill somebody, you have to know what it's like to be killed. If you're tortured, you will be tortured. Not in this life, but in another life. And you say, why? Because of what you've done. You're meeting yourself and all the crimes and stuff that you've done. That's why I said always be kind. I don't have to like you to make you, I don't have to have you as a friend just because I might not like your personality. Could be your growth or not trying or something. But it doesn't mean I'm going to put you down, because look, I got my own problems. So everything you do, minding everyone else's business, when you come through another life, everyone's going to mind your business and you're going to hate it. And then you know how it feels to have busybodies minding your business. If you go after people and harass them and put them down, you will have to come through, and God won't make you intelligent. He'll allow them hurt you the way you hurt them. That's why I always say be kind to everybody, because you don't know what they're going through. They have to deal with issues if they like it or not. And when that karma is paid, it's over. My father called himself the perfect man, the perfect soul. He did no wrong. I have so many brothers and sisters all over Texas. Well, mostly brothers. I'm the only girl. But he left a lot of sons all over Texas. In my father's mind, he was perfect in everything that he did. I know that this is a cooking channel. Most of the talking we do is cooking. But sometimes I just talk about things that go through my head, and everything else as we cook. We could have a nice quiet kitchen. All I could do is I could do all the prepping and just tell you what's in it, read the recipe, and say goodbye. So that's it. I'd have some of the shortest videos. I just read the recipe to you and then show you a picture of the final one. If somebody wants my shorts, he wishes they were longer, but I'm only showing you the end product. I'm not showing you the work. The videos are my recipes, people. I invite you into my kitchen. I sit down and we'll chat with you. But I always say be respectful. Because if you're not respectful, you've got a heck of a way to go. I think that's all the chopping. Let me see. Put these over here. Now we'll put them in the refrigerator. Oh no, we got the celery. They want a cup of celery chopped as well. I don't know how much this is. We'll find out. I might need more than one. They want 1 cup of celery chopped. This is a nice green one. You can put the celery with the bell peppers and onions as well. That looks about like a cup, doesn't it? I think so. That was a big rib. So they wanted 2 cups of bell peppers, 2 onions, and 1 cup of celery, diced. Well, really chopped fine, as they say. All right, step next. Okay, I have stock over here. Okay. I'm going to use my Dutch oven. They want a 4-quart pot. Oh dear. I have to get you over here. Give me a minute. How much oil do you want? They want 2 tablespoons of oil. And as usual, mine's frozen, so we'll have to do it this way. Yeah, that should be enough. We're going to heat this up till it's hot. Remember, Dutch ovens, you do not, no stick, you do not turn a flame on until you get oil into them. That's just about everything we're putting in it. Okay, well that's different. I know you said, what were you doing? I was reading how they want this to be done. Now you see why I need a 6-burner. It drives me crazy. Now, we're going to brown this chicken. We're going to cook it a lot. much cooking left. They want this pretty hot. It's like we're going to seal in. And they also say put skin side down first. They yell that across the recipe. You can't miss it with an exclamation point. They say to use chicken stock, but I don't want to use chicken stock. I got too much vegetables, so I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. Oh, you're not even hot yet, so we have to wait still. We're just waiting for the pot to get really hot. So we wait. If I can't get it hot up here, I know it's not hot down there. That's why I touch the sides to give me a good idea. Just be careful. If it gets too hot and you go like this, you could burn your finger if you're slow. So be a little on the fast side. I'll read what I'm doing, and I can actually pause you for this. They want you to brown the chicken in batches, large pieces first, skin side down first, turning once a minute until nicely browned, about 8 minutes per batch, and remove the chicken from the pot and set it aside. So that's what we're going to be doing. Some of you like to see me go through the whole stage, and others sit there and say, you know, I know this part. That's what I'm going to be doing, just cooking the chicken, put it in a plate to the side, and when I am done with that, I will be back and move to the next part. You're only going to be able to cook the chicken for about 4 minutes on each side, and then put it in a plate to the side. Okay, you're going to add your bell peppers and onions and celery. And your seasonings that are left. Now they want you to stir this to keep this from burning. If it starts to burn, your seasoning, then you're going to have to pour in a ½ cup of chicken stock. They want this all done with chicken stock, but I'm not using chicken stock. I'm using vegetable stock, my whey, and chicken stock, and the pumpkin water from yesterday. Now we have to saute these. And they say be careful. Okay, it's spicy. If you don't burn the seasoning. We want you to stir them. And if you think they're starting to burn, add a ½ cup of stock and deglaze your pot. You have to. They said if you stir it around about every minute, you should be all right. Well, this recipe definitely states you have to soak those beans overnight. And you're going to serve this over white rice, and we're going to garnish it with a tomato. He peels his tomatoes. I don't want mine peeled. I'll dice a fresh tomato and garnish the dish. Every time I smell it, I want to start coughing. I know it's got heat in it. You're doing well. You're fine. I'm showing you, I am stirring it a lot. And as you can see, the pot's becoming deglazed. You see how it is? Another thing that they've learned through nutrition is that if you're too heavy, you have more illnesses. And when you keep your weight more in line, the chances of you being ill are less. That's what they say. But of course, I don't believe that. I believe your health has a lot to do with it. If you're going to enjoy old age or just suffer. But the lady said her husband's feeling better from having the bone broth. She says he's finally starting to move around. He said he hurts so much, but it's not as bad now. So it's nice to hear that. It always makes me happy when a simple thing can be corrected so easily. She said, does he just drink it? I said, no, you cook with it, just like you would water. Okay, pouring in a half a cup of stock now. We're going to deglaze. Really deglaze now. As you stir it around, you'll see it all coming up. Add 3 cups more. And add your beans. Now it states the beans are not going to have much flavor now until they finish cooking. Okay, I'm going to stir this all together. You see it's a big pot that I'm making. I might have leftovers today. Okay. bring this to a boil. Now they state that you should check this pot every 5 minutes. We're going to bring it to a boil and turn it down to simmer. And check it to make sure it's not burning. If it is, add more stock. But they said it will do that if you're not careful. So do check it. If it starts to stick, you add more liquid. So according to them, we have 1 more cup we can work with. But look how pretty it looks. It's very, very colorful. We'll get the chicken in it after. Now, I have to go get something, and I will be right back. Okay, now that it's been cooking for 45 minutes, they want us to put the chicken in and nuzzle it into the beans. Don't set it on top. We want you to put it in there. You're going to take all the juice from it, pour it in there. You're going to pour a little more in here, because this is going to continue cooking. Now you serve this over rice. I'm going to have a salad when this is done cooking. I'll make the salad. I'll make a vegetable salad. And this is the whole dish. I'll bring it to a nice boil. We'll cook it a little longer. You put the beans and the chicken in it, and they said just return to a boil, reduce the heat to low, and simmer until the beans are soft and the liquid is thick and creamy. He said about 15 minutes, but it might take a little longer. That you'll have to judge. Okay. Now, they recommend putting this over rice. I'll tilt you up now. They say to put it over rice and serve it, and that's how it's going to be served with us. I know all of you basically know how to cook rice your way, and I've shown you enough times I think you're sick of it. So I'm not going to show you how I do rice, but I have some extra stock here, and I'm going to use it into my rice and carry this whole dish over. So you serve this over rice. Whatever vegetables you want, I'm going to sit there, like I said, and make a salad to accompany this dish. And we'll garnish it as soon as this chicken is done, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, it's done. I left the chicken in, I say about 15-20 minutes. Now what I'm serving this in is a tureen. It is a serving bowl, and it has a lid on it. What it does is it keeps the food hot, and you can take it to the table instead of taking your pots or going to the stove and picking up what you want. That is good. I'm actually putting the chicken on the bottom instead of on top. Do it a little backwards, but I'm comfortable with it. Okay. How does this is? The pink beans are just done. They're not mushy. They're cooked just right. You put the lid on this and you take it to the table like this and it keeps it hot. You see? That's a terrine, and that dish is absolutely done. Now, I'm going to show you how you can sit there and garnish it. Okay, just give me a minute. Don't worry, I will bring it back over. Just, I wanted you to see how a terrine looks. And you bring it to the table like this. Now I'm going to show you how you garnish this dish. I'll use this one. I'm going to take a tomato. Now he says to peel the tomatoes. Now I have no problems with the skin of the tomato, so I'm going to go ahead and use the skin of the tomato. With the tomato. I am not going to do anything with my tomato, but if you don't like the skin, please peel it. Well, I could have cut it in half to do this, but I think I'll go ahead and do it this way. There goes my cat again. Well, that's about right. This will get color to the dish. It's a bit spicy. Not gonna lie, it is a bit spicy. It's letting me know. What you're gonna do is cut your tomato up. You don't have to cut it my way. You can cut it your way if you wish. I go in different directions when I'm doing things like this. I'll have to turn you. I'm a bit crowded here. Usually when you use a tureen, you're going to use a ladle. Okay, now we've finished this. Now we're going to show you how to dress it. We just want you to put tomato all over the top of it. That gives it the contrast of the color that you're looking for. And this is optional. I don't mind doing it, but that's how they finish this up. Me, I'm going to eat it. Well, now that's how you dress it. So you have the contrast. And they say serve it with rice. Over rice, actually, is what they say. And that is how they serve the dish. And that is the dish and how to garnish it. So listen, I want you to have a great day today. The weather's cool. Dress appropriate. I don't want anybody getting sick with sniffles. It's no fun. Bye-bye.